I've read 116 books in 2025. Let's discuss. We have top 15 to talk about today. My top 6 are ranked. The first 9 books that I'm going to discuss are not ranked in any particular order. The order can change based on my mood, so I'm not going to rank them. But the top 6 are pretty nailed down to like my new all-time favorite books ever. First off, we have The September House, and this one we're following Margaret and her husband Hal. They buy this old Victorian house for super cheap and super inexpensive, and they're living in it, and then weird things start happening, like the walls start to bleed and super haunted, right? Hal, her husband, is like, I'm not going to live here anymore. By the way, this is not a spoiler. It's just on the back of the book. He disappears, and they don't know where he went. And then Margaret's children get involved. Margaret kind of like falls in love with the house, and she doesn't want to leave, and she's like taking care of it, and it's a part of her. And this book has a lot of symbolism. Trigger warnings. If you are easily upset by books that you read, I would definitely look into this one before picking it up. But I adore this so much. Like, it is a slow burn. It is slower, okay? But the symbolism is crazy. Like, it is so good because this book is about I love a haunted house story, so I think that's another reason why I like this so much. But yeah, I just really enjoyed the storytelling and tying in real life situations to this haunted house story. And like, honestly, the ending is so good. The ending is just brilliant. Yeah, I love this. I think whenever I read it, I was like debating on, is this a 4.5 or is this a 5? It was one of my favorite thrillers that I read in 2025, and I read a lot of thrillers. This was really, really brilliant, but it is slower paced. Just FYI, if you haven't read it and you want to pick it up. Next up, we have The Goddess of, and we're following Nea, and she's the daughter of the sea goddess, and she escapes an arranged marriage, and she gets pulled into the mortal world. And this one I loved for so many reasons. That was a really sad summary of this book, but I read it I think in March, and so it's quite fuzzy, but I just remember how this book made me feel. I loved it so much. There's so many cozy, whimsical scenes in this book, and I just really loved it. I love the writing and I love the characters. And then I followed it up immediately with Even in Death, and this one took the cake. So this one really is just like, I want to put an emphasis. You have to read them in order, but I feel like this one is a lot better. This is a male fantasy romance, and we're following Finian, which is one of the characters in The Goddess of, and he goes into the underworld to figure out what happened to his dad. No, he wants to save his father. Yeah, so he goes into the underworld to save his father, but then he has to deal with the undergod that like basically ruined his life. So it's not rivals, I would say enemies. This is like a true enemies to lovers. It is really heavy at times, but I just thought that this was beautifully written, and if you like fantasy romance, definitely recommend these. And the new one is coming out in February. There's a 3rd book, and I'm excited for that. I'm going to try and be kind of fast about the top 9 because they are not like my new all-time favorites, but I still love them and I want to talk about them. Okay, and then we have The Whisperwicks, and this one we're following 11-year-old Benjamin Creek, and he's very analytical and factual, and he doesn't believe in any kind of magic, but then one day he gets sent this doll, and he gets taken to like another realm, and he has to like rescue people and go on this like mission, and it's just like a very whimsical story about him and his friends, or like found family, and he's helping his friend basically like find their way home because they're both like lost in this other realm. And so they go on an adventure quest, and it's a middle grade, I think. I know this is definitely kid friendly. I'm pretty sure it's middle grade. Yeah, Simon & Schuster is the publisher, but yeah, I really love this. The author's name is Jordan Lees, and I think it's a series, The Labyrinth of Lost and Found. The cover is gorgeous. I really did not anticipate loving this one so much. I definitely didn't anticipate crying. Like, it made me really emotional. towards the end, and I just adored this so freaking much. I would say if you like, I remember whenever I read this, I said it was a love letter to readers because it just has this like amazing storytelling, and you know, you're following the characters and they're literally in a different world. And I feel like it was almost symbolic for reading. But anyways, that's, yeah, one of my best books for sure. The Whisperwicks. Okay, The Whisperwicks. Okay, next we have The Devil Made Me Brew It by Sarah Piper. And in this one, we're following a kitchen witch who accidentally summons the devil or a demon, and they become like tied together. So she's trying to save her cafe, but then she accidentally summons him, and then they become magically bound. And this is a really cute, cozy paranormal rom-com. I love the cozy witch vibes, but it also has like deeper elements to it. It's not just a paranormal rom-com. It's not just a cozy witchy book. It has some really, really amazing lines of, I feel like it was like more of self-acceptance, but I did annotate, so let me see what lines I was annotating. A lot of autumnal vibes. Oh yeah, I had some really good quotes. So she's talking about magic, and she says, "It reminds us that no matter how lonely we may feel, as long as we're true to ourselves as women, we're never really alone." So yeah, I really loved this. It's really cute and cozy. The Devil Made Me Brew It. Highly recommend. And then we have Losing Control by, I think it's Lady Anisha. It could be Lottie, but I'm pretty sure it's Lady. Ladii. It might be a pen name. I do follow her on Instagram, but I don't think she has said whether or not like it's her real name. This one we're following Marley and Caesar, and Marley is grieving and she is also healing from a previous relationship. This is also an urban romance, so it does have the N-word, but it's not derogatory, and it's said by Black people, and this is a Black author, so just FYI. But this was so freaking good. It's emotional, it's hilarious. So many laugh out loud moments. If you're a fan of Demon's Dream, this is definitely one to read. I love this so much. I'll probably reread it one day. I just think that there were so many laugh out loud moments. It was incredible. Then I have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This was a reread for me, but I did annotate it. The first time I read this was July of 2024. And I liked it, but on reread it was a lot better, and I gave it 5 stars. And then I read Brimstone by Callie Hart, and so this is the second book, and basically we're following this woman with secret powers, and she's like a thief, and she gets brought into this realm with the Fae King, and it's just a really good fantasy romance. I feel like this is a really popular series, or yeah, there will be another book, but I annotated both books. I just thought that upon reread, Quicksilver just hit different. I love Kingfisher. I love him so much. I would classify this as a high fantasy romance, and it's really good. So yeah. Okay, next up we have The Night Prince by Lauren P. I'm not gonna say the last name because I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is the second book. The first book is the Wolf King. This one stood out to me more than the Wolf King. I loved the Wolf King, but this one was no question about it, 5 star. The Wolf King is basically like if you were to combine Twilight and Outlander into one book and like have like a fantasy romance baby from that book. That's what that is. Okay, so there's wolves and vampires, and Quicksilver as well. There's all different types of creatures and things. Like, I really am not doing some of these books justice with the description. Just know that if you like any of these genres and you haven't read these books, I love these books. Okay, so that's the whole point of this video. But yeah, anyway, The Night Prince, this was so good. This one has like a slow burn tension to it, and duty versus romance and forbidden romance. These are the indie covers. I probably should get no, I don't really need them, but if I want the whole series to match, I don't know. If I want the traditionally published covers, but yeah. Okay, we're close to getting to my top 6, but we have one more book and then we'll get into my top 6. Next up, we have In the Company of Witches by Orly Wallace, and this is a cozy, witchy mystery, murder mystery, and I adore this so freaking much. This book made me so emotional. We're following Bryn Warren, and she has to investigate a death that happens at the Airbnb, at her family's Airbnb. This one has a lot of found family, and like I just adore the dynamic between her and her family so much. This also deals with grief because she is grieving the loss of her husband, and how it ties into like her magic and stuff like that, because she had lost her magic. Well, she didn't really lose her magic, but she just hadn't used it since her husband died. This was actually so much better than I thought it was going to be. I just thought it was going to be like a simple cut and dry kitchen witch, not really, well, not kitchen witch, but like Airbnb cozy murder mystery. And this was so much more. This had a lot of depth, and I love the banter. I love the characters. I will definitely reread this. Honestly, I should probably just do top 7 because this definitely is a new all-time favorite for sure. The others that I have talked about so far are definitely favorites, but I don't really plan on rereading them. Okay, no wait. Well, Whisperwicks, I will definitely reread. No, I mean, I will reread them, but like I don't have any immediate plans to reread them. And like my top 7, I feel like I want to reread them immediately. Even though like I don't have time for that, but like I might. I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, In the Company of Witches, 5 stars, 6 stars actually. I love this so much. I cried. It made me emotional. It's so much more than just a simple cozy murder mystery. It's just like, it's so good. I'm excited to talk about the next one. The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. Obviously there's a TV show for this series, but yeah, I adore this so much. We're following Anthony and Kate, and Anthony is supposed to marry for duty. He's supposed to marry the diamond of the season, but he falls for Kate, and she's not the diamond of the season. And but the tension between them is oh my god, sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. It's palpable. So if you're not aware of the Bridgerton series, it is a Regency romance. It's sort of historical. I would say it's a historical romance, but it's not like factual. I don't want to say it's factual. It's just like fiction. Regency romance, I feel like, is a better description of it. But it is an enemies to lovers. The main character, our girl Kate, is very, very strong, and I love her so much. I love the banter in this. I read this while right after we moved to Virginia, and I just had the best time with this. I escaped into this book like no other. It was just so good. I inhaled it, and I adore this book so much. And definitely I've adored the whole Bridgerton series so far. I haven't finished it yet, but this one is my favorite so far. Like nothing can top Anthony and Kate. And why is my finger so itchy? My finger's itchy. Okay. Anyways, okay, the next book, I literally had to put a piece of paper because I knew I would forget because I don't own a physical copy. And that is Heated Rivalry. Now, if you've watched my recent reading vlogs, you'll know that whenever I first read this, I was like shocked because I didn't expect it to be this good because it was getting so much hype. And so I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to like it. Like, I don't know. Oh my god, no, it's so good. This is a male hockey rivals to lovers, but like the slowest burn. Okay, so it's like insta attraction, but slow burn to admit their feelings. It's about like being queer and coming out, and one of them is bisexual, and like the other is sort of like learning his sexual preferences, and just they're unmatched. They really are. Do I have another romance on top? Well, okay, so like, yeah, as far as romance goes, I don't know. This is just like unmatched. I honestly, I would have a hard time believing anything to top Heated Rivalry. I have since read this book 3 times since I read it the first time, and that's why I'm putting it on my list. So I guess it's kind of biased. It's kind of unfair because I've read this book 3 times. And if I had filmed this video, obviously in 2025, my list might be different. But I'm filming it as I am, who I am as a person today, and me as a person today I've drank the Kool-Aid, okay? Like, the representation in this series is so good. I've also read The Long Game, Chef's Kiss, okay? Chef's Kiss. But that one I didn't read in 2025. Yeah, they are incredible if you really want, I mean, yes, it is spicy, but it's also like their dynamic is just unmatched, like really, really palpable. Like, you can just, they're also hilarious. The banter is so good. I feel like that's also what makes a really good, like, that's what kind of sets apart books for me, is like if there's really good banter, and obviously the chemistry and the will they won't they and the rivals. I love enemy and enemies to lovers. So talking about like top 7, right? So we had 7, 6, and then Heated Rivalry is 5, and then we have number 4. So this is my fourth favorite. Yes, fourth favorite of 2025. King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. Wow. So, backstory. S.A. Cosby is an incredible writer. Razorblade Tears is my all-time favorite thriller ever. I think that book is incredible. Oh my God. It's so good. This one is right up there. Like, really right up there. Again, I think he's my favorite thriller author. Anyway, okay, so let's get into what this one is about. In this book, we're following Roman, who gets a call from his sister Nevaeh, letting him know that his father's been in an accident and he is in a coma, and that he needs to come home. So he goes home to Virginia. His family has a crematorium, so he's helping run that. And like, while he's there, he gets dragged into a lot of violence, and this book ultimately comes down to what people will do for the people that they love. And this was incredible. I was gripped from page 1 to the very end. S.A. Cosby just has a way with words and a way of putting together a story that will really not just make you, it's not like they scare you, but it's like you think about everything, things about race. S.A. Cosby is a Black man, so his perspective, you're getting different perspectives on social inequalities and social injustices that just make you sick. And if a thriller does that to me, if a thriller makes me sick to my stomach, it's 5 stars, okay? Because not because necessarily of like the violence and if there's gore, but because it makes you just feel like something. You know, it makes you feel a lot of things. And S.A. Cosby really, really makes me feel a lot of things. This book is just incredible. And I also highly recommend Razorblade Tears. It's one of my all-time favorite books ever. And just, I also really like his books because from what I remember, there's not a ton of violence against women, and no offense, but like, it's not like I prefer to see violence against men. But my point is that a lot of thrillers are focused on violence against women, and I think he does a good job not doing that. This was just it's really heavy and it's really dark. It has, oh my gosh. It has a lot of elements that I was like, are we gonna be okay after this? Like, not me, but like the characters, you know, like it's, oh my God. I vividly remember so many scenes of this book, and like the ending is just like, I can't put it into words, honestly. One reason why this is definitely in my top 5 of 2025. Highly recommend. Go read it, please. Okay, next up, we have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This book, I feel like, made a big impact on me because of let me just explain what it's about first. We're following Sybil, and she's basically being suppressed by the systems, the world that she lives in. Sybil is serving as a diviner. She can basically see the future and predict things that are going to happen. And her, I would call them like sisters, so to speak, they start disappearing. And then she meets this knight, and this knight he helps her figure out like what's going on and where they're going, because they just keep disappearing, like basically her best friends and other women that she's been serving with. There's a lot of suppression that's going on and like this system that she is involved in. And I found a lot of parallels with, I feel like, today's organized religion. I feel like if you have any kind of religious trauma, you may really enjoy this book, because personally, this is just my point of view, my perspective. I really felt like it had a lot of those parallels, not cut and dry, not like apples to apples, but yeah. So this one really meant a lot to me. I did not anticipate loving it this much. The cover is gorgeous, stunning, beautiful. You know, they use a real model for the cover. Like, it's very cool, actually. But yeah, I'm really excited for book 2 that's coming out this year. This is one that I will definitely reread. Also, the gargoyle is just chef's freaking kiss. The banter, I love it so much. I would die for him. Okay, I'm not gonna say his name. Maybe I'll speed up what I just said, because it was a spoiler, so we're not gonna talk spoilers. But yeah, oh my gosh, I love it so much. And like the ending, oh god, I cried. I love this so much. If you haven't read The Night and the Moth, I highly recommend it. I just loved every second of it. I loved the journey that the characters go on, and the banter, and just like the underlying meaning, I feel like had just like a really big impact on me. So I really love this. Okay, and next up we have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sengu M. Mandana. I think that's how you say it, Mandana. I did not anticipate this one being so high on my list, but the reason that this is so high on my list is because we're following Mika Moon, and pretty much her whole life she's spent hiding her magic, and she's very lonely. She deals with a lot of loneliness, and she just feels like she can't fit in. She feels like she's a square in a round peg, and that she just never has belonged. And she's struggled with, she has like very odd quirks, I guess you could say. And that's not what this book is about. She basically gets the opportunity to go take care of these kids who need a caretaker, and so she's taking care of them. And like, romance is an element of this, but it's not the main focus. The romance is not why I like this book so much. I did really love the romance, but it's more like the found family and Mika finding herself and like accepting self-acceptance. And like, I just really love this so much. I cried. I feel like I've had a hard time crying with books recently that I've read, and this one just definitely pulled that out of me. Honestly, a lot of these books, a lot of my top favorites, I did cry, and I feel like as of late, it's getting harder and harder for a book to make me cry. And so when it does make me like tear up, and it does have that impact on me, I'm like, okay, this is definitely like, this means something. And yeah, this was just really, really incredible. I feel like it's popular for a reason. The sequel I didn't like as much, but this one was really, really great. And it also was a cozy, witchy fantasy. So sort of rom-com-y, but it's more so about, I feel like, Mika finding herself and accepting herself and like being welcome into like the found family elements. Found family will get me every single time. Like, every single time. I love found family trope. It's one of my all-time favorite tropes. Really, really love this amazing book. And I also annotated. Okay, next up, Shouldn't Be a Surprise to Anyone, In the Veins of the Drowning by Callie Cassidy. I was swept away. This book literally swept me away. I finished it in one sitting, and I finished it at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was just in awe of the writing. I loved it so much. Are there flaws in the plot? Possibly. I don't know. I'm blind to them. But yeah, so in this one, we're following Imogen and Theo. And Imogen is a siren. She's lived among the humans, and she's just like hid her powers her whole life. And she has this encounter with her husband to be, and it ends very negatively badly for him. And then she meets this king and he helps her escape. And they have to work together, and like they do go from not liking each other to basically being in love pretty quickly, but they have a blood bond that I think is the reason behind that. And I don't know, I completely got swept away by this. Like, I loved this book so much. I immediately picked it up to reread it, and I annotated, and I adored it. This one also has really good gothic elements to it. It's a dark, I would say it's like, not like dark as in like the topics, but dark as in the atmosphere. It's got a very dark gothic atmosphere to it. If you like mermaids, if you want to read, I mean, she's a siren, but like, it's I feel like it was a breath of fresh air, and I just inhaled this so much. Definitely, I feel like I don't know who I would be if I didn't have this as my number one book for 2025. It was just very impactful to me, and I loved it so much. I'm so glad that I picked it up. So yeah, those are my top 15 books of 2025. Let me know if you've read any of these or if you plan on reading any of them. And if you made it this far, go ahead and leave a broom and a cup of tea, okay? Because I feel like I had a lot of cozy, comfy, feel good reads in 2025, and they ended up being, some of them ended up being some of my new all-time favorites. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Please do let me know your favorite book of 2025, or even your least favorite book of 2025. Let me know if you disliked or liked any of these. And thank you so much for being here. I do have a Patreon where I do have extra content, and I have an Instagram as well. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you did enjoy this. And I will see you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are. And I will see you in my next video.
Back to the gypsy that I was, to the gypsy that I